The member for Abbotsford.
Well, lithium is critical in the production of electric vehicles. Last week, we learned that the minister fast-tracked the sale of a Canadian lithium company to a state-owned enterprise from China without conducting a full national security review. Yet for 3 long years, the same minister has refused to say no to Huawei building Canada's 5G network. Why is it so easy for him to say yes to risky takeovers of Canadian companies, yet so hard for him to say no to dubious foreign takeovers?
The Honourable Minister of Innovation.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank my honourable colleague for the question. Mr. Speaker, let's bring a bit of facts in this discussion, Mr. Speaker. Last week, I was clear to Canadians and to the committee. When it comes to the lithium transaction, Mr. Speaker, let's be clear to Canadians. This transaction was subject to a full national security review involving all the relevant departments of the government and all the intelligence and security agencies. And in addition, Mr. Speaker, it was subject to any scrutiny in accordance with the guidelines I've put in place in March. So we should not mislead this House, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to issues of national security.
Great answer.
Honourable member for Abbotsford.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the minister is not entitled to his own facts. He also refused to tell Canadians whether he consulted with our allies before making the hasty decision to allow Neo-lithium to be sold to China. We assume his answer is no. He didn't consult. Our American and other allies have banned Huawei from their 5G networks long ago, and yet can't understand why this Liberal government continues to dither and delay. Mr. Speaker, it's been 3 years. When will this minister stop appeasing the communist regime in Beijing and finally say no way to Huawei?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank the member for the question. He knows how much I appreciate him. He's a great colleague. But I will say no to misleading, Mr. Speaker, Canadians when it comes to issue of national security. I'm very happy when he talks about our network because Canadians at home understand that this decision will have an impact not only on this generation but future generation. So a colleague like him would understand that national security must come first when we take a decision like that, and that's why we'll take the right decision for Canadians, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable member for Abbotsford.
Mr. Speaker, Canada must say no to Huawei. The Washington Post recently reported how Huawei has developed voice and facial recognition technology that helps governments track and monitor political dissidents, manage re-education camps, and help retailers track shoppers. This is appalling. Yet while Canada's most trusted allies have banned Huawei from their networks, this government refuses to do so. So again, I ask the minister the question, when will he say no way to Huawei?
The Honourable Minister for Innovation.
Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that we're taking the time today in this House to talk about our infrastructure network, Mr. Speaker, because Canadians at home understand how important it will be for them and for the future. We know we're going to the data economy. We know what communication and networks will be important. That's why, Mr. Speaker, that Canadians, those who are watching at home, I know they're watching today, understand that when you take a decision like that, you need to make national security come first. That's exactly what we're going to do and take the best decision in the interest of all Canadians.
Oh, excellent.
Honourable member for Abbotsford.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, we're going to the data economy, but not with China. Our own intelligence agencies have long warned this Prime Minister about allowing Huawei into our 5G networks. Turns out they were right. For years, Huawei denied that it was a tool of the communist regime in Beijing. And now we have evidence that the company is deeply implicated in designing surveillance tools to keep track of millions, if not billions of people all around the world. So when will the minister make a decision on Huawei? And when will he finally say no way to Huawei?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank the member for his question. One thing is clear, Mr. Speaker, is that a little bit of facts in this House sometimes helps for the understanding. One thing I can say, Mr. Speaker.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to interrupt the Honourable Minister. I'm trying to hear his answer, and I'm having a hard time.
Tell him to point to the floor.
I'll let the Honourable Minister continue now. Please.
Speaker, I was about to say we're not going to take lessons from the Conservative when it comes to national security, and I'll tell you why, Mr. Speaker. We review 4 times more transactions and plus twice as many transactions as the Conservative did when they were in government.
Yeah.
Canadians know that we care when it comes to national security. We'll take no compromise when it comes to national security, and we'll take the best decision in the interest of all Canadians.
Yes.
L'honorable député de...
The honourable member for Jonquière.